What makes a comfortable work boot, and why are some work boots more comfortable than others? Hey guys, it's Kent here, the podiatrist from DocPods and Ergonics, and today we're looking at what are the features of a work boot that make it more comfortable than others. So you might get a little bit frustrated. Sometimes you go and buy a boot and it's a cheap boot but it's comfortable, and then you go and buy an expensive boot but it's not comfortable. Or you can get the vice versa, you can get the more expensive boots are more comfortable, and you might be looking for the reasons why are these boots more comfortable than others, yet I paid more money. So there's a few things you need to look for in a work boot, and generally these are features of the higher end boots. So that's generally why you'll find the more comfortable boots more expensive, and then they'll also last longer because generally they're better constructed. So we'll jump straight into the features here. So the first thing we look for, and this is just not for work boots, this can be for any running shoe, a walking shoe, something for your mum or your dad or your wife or husband. And so the first thing we look for is, can we bend it end on end, and where does the boot bend? So it should only bend through where your big toe bends. Now the reason we do this is because when we're walking, we walk in generally a heel-toe progression. That's the most sort of functional way to walk. Now if our boot bends all the way through the middle of our foot, then it strains everything through the middle of the foot, like the arch and the joints and the bones of the middle of the foot, and that can generally lead to some wear and tear over time. So where your boot bends is a very important feature. So we want to walk in a normal heel to toe progression. So we only want our boot to work with our foot and not make our foot bend somewhere where it doesn't naturally bend. So that's the first thing we look for. The second thing we look for is it doesn't twist too much. So if you see it's quite hard to actually bend this and twist this boot, that's a fantastic feature because it will hold your foot nice and stable, and it won't actually let your foot pronate or supinate. Or if you're walking across really heavy ballast in like a rail yard or on a job site or that temporary driveways they put into construction sites, you won't twist and your feet won't have to actively be controlled by the muscles in your feet, which means they'll work less, they'll be cooler, and they won't ache as much at the end of the workday. The third thing we look for is, does it have this shock absorbing midsole? So if you have a look at this boot here, you can see there's a real difference between, you've got the outsole here and the midsole. There's a really clear distinction between the outsole and the midsole, and this is a shock absorbing midsole. So what that does, it absorbs the shock in the midsole and doesn't transmit it up to your feet, hips and knees, so that makes them more comfortable. But the other thing it does is, when we have less force acting on your foot, all the reactions to that force are slower. So it means that when your foot hits the ground, it won't roll in as quickly, and so the forces of that rolling in won't be as great on your feet. So it'll wear the joints, ligaments and muscles in your feet out a lot less than what it usually would. It's got a heel counter, so that grips the heel and holds it and helps it to stop from rolling in and rolling out. That's another great feature of a good shoe. It's lace up with a zip. So the reason we like lace ups is because we can adjust this so it doesn't, as the leather stretches, it will actually be able to fasten this up so it gets a more customized fit to your foot even as the leather stretches and the boot ages. It of course has a protective toe with a scuff cap. That's a protection feature on the job site. So, and the scuff cap just helps to keep it looking nice and clean so the steel toe or the composite toe doesn't stick through the boot. Another great feature in this work boot, and what makes a really comfortable work boot, is what is the quality of the insole that's actually in the boot. This one's got our highest grade of arch support cushioned orthotic inner sole. So you can see it's got these cushioning sections in the heel and in the forefoot. It's got a really nice long high arch support that helps to keep your foot's arch elevated and helps to stop your foot from rolling in and flattening out, because when our feet roll in and flatten out, generally our feet work harder to try and control this because our body wants to get our foot back into a nice straight position so we can walk off that foot. And then what the foot will actually do is it takes muscle control to actually do that, and then the muscles eventually get fatigued when we start to work 10, 12-hour days, day after day after day. So they are really the functional features that will help to make your work boot more comfortable. So if you check out the current work boots that you've got, and you might actually find that, hey, these running shoes that I find really, really comfortable have got all these features in them, and that's why they're very comfortable. But the cheap work boots that I bought that just don't have any of these functional features, and they bend in all the wrong spots, and then don't support my feet, and they've got no cushion insole. So that might be the reason why your feet are aching all day at work. So if you found any of this helpful, please tell us, or if you have any questions about the video or you want us to check out your boots, let us know and we'll be able to help you out. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. It's very simple to do and it really does help us out. If you need further information on the topics discussed, please follow the links in the description and that will take you to our website where we've got more information on these topics. If you have a specific question that you'd like to ask, please comment in the comments section below and we'll do our best to make a video to address your question. If you have any further comments or questions, you can find us at ergonix.com.au and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.